Welcome to my DeWalt Radial arm saw. Well, I'm going to cut a dado with it. A channel, if you like, in this piece of oak. In fact, I've already done 3. Now, there's 2 pieces of oak here that I've temporarily stuck together with double-sided sticky tape. Because I want this to be exactly the same, this to be exactly the same, and this to be exactly the same, and that to be exactly the same. There's 4 dados, which effectively is going to be 8 dados, or channels, which are going to make 8 cleats. 8 cleats for my little wooden chute bolts, as you can see here. So basically what we'll have is there'll be 2 cleats on each bolt. So I've got 4, so I need 8. So there'll be 1 over there and 1 over there. And the idea is they shoot backwards and forwards. In fact, I need another 4. I just remembered. I've got to do the keeps. What an idiot. Anyway, boop. Was it a bloop? A bloop. Oh, yeah, I did a blooper. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut this dado in the end here. And what we've got to remember is, or what we've got to do is set the height of the saw first, which I've already done. And all I do is I lock it off from a distance like that. There's some chop saws you can do this with as well, with the slide miters. They're not as good though, nowhere near as accurate as this bottom great iron rail. It's yeah, horse for the courses. So what I tend to do is I use the actual existing, the actual bolt itself, the chute bolt itself, and just literally just mark the depth on there, which I have done, and then transfer that mark to the height and adjust the height of the blade to suit. So I've got one more to make on there, and then we've got to cut them into length. So anyway, let's cut that one. We will do it. Okay, here we go. You've got to make sure you're holding down your piece of wood to your work surface. Otherwise it can lift and then you'll make a deeper cut, deeper than what you want to do. And once you get to the end, we then can set the depth of cut so we cut all the way through. Drop it in there we go. About right, double check. Yep, that's good. So check all them before we actually reset the actual height of the blade. And I'll set it now so I can hear it scratch near the end of its rotation. Not hear it, you see. There you go. So now it's at the bottom. Double check. Yep, that's at the bottom. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut them off. One by one. And what you've got to remember, I'll tell you this, when you actually mark for your cuts in between, if you're doing multiple ones like this, remember you've got the curve, the thickness of your cut. Bear that in mind. This last one is a bit short, so I could get ginger with that one. Right, at the moment they're kind of stuck together with a double-sided sticky tape. Yeah, sticky. So that's 1, 2. Right, and there'll be a third one as well for the bottom foot to slide into, such as that. There you go. So they're my little chute bolts, effectively, like so. You got to make sure you've got enough when you position these. There's enough room to open and close them. They're quite nice little things, really. You've got to clean them all up, and we pre-drill all the holes and stuff like that, with plugs and what have you. Yeah, with your screw plugs. So anyway. That's how I set up my old DeWalt Radial arm saw to do, well, effectively a dado cut. So even if you're doing a long board or a wider board to put cut a dado in, you might want, in some cases you might want to put a dado head in your saw as well, which is basically a stack of blades, which I do have, but I use it more for By the time I put all that in, unless I'm doing a hell of a lot of dados, there's no point. I just use a saw blade as it is. Although it does get a nice flat cut. Yeah, but yes, basically, you can then set whatever height you are, but if you actually, to get the depth of the actual, you wouldn't see what would go that deep every time. So if you do it for shelves, in the shelf unit, you wouldn't set it as deep as that. You may, if you've got a 20 mil thick 3/4 board or whatever, you might only go in 8 to 10 mil. And that'll be all dado. That'll take the load of a shelf that you've got to put in it. And then you might want to glue it in there as well. Anyway, that's my DeWalt radial arm saw. If you can get hold of one, because I would recommend it, but the things you've got to be careful of is wear. Make sure it hasn't had a lot of use, because if it's been used a lot, they'll be wearing it, and that makes them inaccurate. Although they are fully adjustable, so you can tighten everything up on them, which isn't too bad. The other thing is you don't generally oil up here, although I'd use a PTF spray, or sometimes I'll wipe a little bit of oil, but just like a very thin coat. Don't go mad and put loads of oil up there, because see, what happens is that all the dust will stick to it. So you've got to keep these clean. Otherwise, you'll feel it when you bring it backwards and forwards. You'll feel it on the rollers, and you feel like lumpy. I feel lumpy, well, like my derriere. So, yeah, just make sure everything works on it properly, and you'll be absolutely fine. And you can pick these up really cheap, because they were a relatively expensive machine in their time. This is the oldest one I've ever had, and it's the best one I've ever had. The others I've had in the past, I wore up, basically. And when I bought this one's had hardly any use at all. So there you go. Get yourself a DeWalt radial arm saw. They're not that frightening. Maybe I'll make more videos about it. Just mind your little fingers. If you're doing small pieces of wood, you can bring it towards you. If you're in wider pieces, I recommend pushing into the cut instead. That's too low, isn't it? Let's bring it back down again. There you go. Pushing into the cut instead. So anyway, that's my DeWalt radial arm saw. Get one if you can. If you can't, well, don't worry. Be happy. Toodaloo.